What's up, running fam? This is Matt Resendiz, the Northwest Side Runner, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about the stretches that you should be doing before your runs and after your runs. All right, welcome back in. As you guys just saw some of the footage from my run on Sunday. It was about 14 miles long, my long run for last week, bringing my total mileage up to 60 miles. And for me, that's super exciting because I've only run 60 miles outdoors, maybe twice. It's less than a handful of times. So I'm coming near the end of my training plan I've been following to build my base up to 60 miles, and I hit that a week early. And my run from today, you guys saw, it's a 4.25 mile run, easy pace to start the last week off of this training plan. And I'm looking forward to seeing the plan through and finishing out, hopefully injury-free. I mean, injury-free as long as, you know, nothing happens as this week progresses. But super excited for the progress that's been made over the last 10 weeks in my outdoor running. Now, for those of you who may be new to the channel, welcome in. Again, my name is Matt Resendiz. I call myself the Northwest Side Runner, and I'm sure some of you are like, the Northwest Side Runner, like, what does that mean? Well, me and my family, we live in the northwest side of Chicago. We live in Jefferson Park, and that is where I get the Northwest Side Runner from. Out here in the Northwest Side, we use the Forest Preserve. We run through neighborhoods, Jefferson Park, Portage Park, Oriole Park, and everything in between out here. So that's why I've been calling myself the Northwest Side Runner. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the stretches that I think everyone who runs or walks or bikes or does some sort of physical activity that involves your legs should be doing beforehand and afterwards. Now for me, I'm going to be honest, I stretch maybe 2 to 3 times a week after each of my runs. It's something that I try to do better at. But I do stretch and get loose before every single run that I do. And those types of stretches are called active stretches. I'm going to show you guys the 3 or 4 stretches that I do every time before a run. And I'll also show you guys the 3 or 4 stretches that we all should be doing after every run or physical activity. With that being said, it is really hot out here. Let's take this inside for some stretch. All right, the first one I'm gonna show you guys is a walking high knee. You could do this in place. You could do it from the length of your kitchen or your living room. You could do this outside, whatever. I'm gonna do it in place for you first. So just get my knees up high, around my waistline, just like that. Again, if you want to, you could walk in place and do it. It's really stimulating that hip area and your quadriceps. So that's the first one I always do. When I get out of bed, I drink my coffee, start with some walking high knees. Second one, I take it to the back, right? Stimulate the hamstrings. So I do a walking butt kicker. All right, so you can, again, do this in place. Just getting my legs loose, okay? That's what all these stretches are for. So I'm just getting my legs loose, a walking butt kicker. Next one, we try and hit the inside part of our leg. So I get a wide stance here and it's just a side lunge. I'm just warming up the inside. Now with these active stretches, it's important that you don't hold the stretch, okay? That's a static stretch we're gonna talk about afterwards. So this is more of a quick 1 second stretch just to sort of pull on those muscles to wake them up. Now after those first 3 movements, I like to start pulling on the muscle a little bit more. So I'll do a quad stretch, hold and pull for maybe 2 seconds until you feel a pull on that front part of your leg. Switch legs. And then you can do this at your own pace. You don't want to hold the stretch for too long, just enough so you feel that pull on the front of your leg. This one's a swinging hamstring stretch. So I usually use something to balance on the counter in my kitchen. Okay, you're just gonna kick one leg out. I do that about 5 times per leg. Okay, bring it out to the side here. 5 times per leg, and then I switch. Okay. So that way I hit both large muscles of the leg. One of the last 2 is a calf stretch. So I usually lean against a counter. All right, so I get into a lunge position, not a very deep lunge. I just want to make sure I put tension on my calf and I just bounce into my calf. I bring my heel up off the ground. I bounce on it 5 to 10 times and switch legs. I also do the same thing for my hips. All right, so I get into a lunge, but this time I put the weight into my toes, so it's almost like a deeper lunge, and I just bounce into the hip where that is backwards. So I really feel the tension build in the hip area just until I feel a stretch, and then I'll switch legs again 5 to 10 times on each leg. I'm focusing on the back leg. I'm not focusing on the front leg like a regular exercise lunge would be. So I'm focusing on the hip area of the leg that's back. Those are the active stretches that I do before every run. Again, you could do these outside. You could do more of a high-paced warm-up with these, with high knees, with butt kickers, but I really stopped doing that a couple years ago because I felt like these were enough of a warm-up for me to get my legs loose. So I think that these are not the most important, but these will help optimize your run or walk or whatever activity you're doing beforehand. These stretches that we do after our activity are called static stretches. That means that you hold the stretch for a longer period of time to help promote flexibility within your muscles, all right? Now, many of you may have a foam roller. I do love my foam roller. Foam rolling does help enhance stretching as well. So what I tend to do, and you can skip this part of the video if you want, I foam roll the area in which I'm going to stretch first. After I foam roll, I feel like I get more of a stretch in that area. So foam rolling really does help. I know it's painful, but it is worth it. All right, again, I'm gonna start with my calf. I'm gonna work my way up the leg, okay? If you want to skip the foam rolling part, just jump ahead a few seconds and you'll skip it. But for the calf area, all right, just set my calf down on the foam roller. And it's really all about angles with foam rolling, right? So I get the innermost part of the calf. That's usually where I'm tight the most. And if you feel a spot that feels really, really tight or painful, just focus on that spot for a few seconds. Focus on that spot for a few seconds, and then you could turn and rotate a little bit to hit the other ends of the calf. Now the calf stretch that I do is the same one that I showed before, except I hold that stretch for 15 to 30 seconds. I may do that twice. So again, that calf stretch looks just like this. I just step back into a lunge, and now instead of bouncing like I was before, now I'm holding that stretch. I'll hold it for 20 seconds or so. Now you're gonna do that with both legs. Foam roll, then stretch. If you don't have a foam roller, stretch. All right, now the hamstring. For me personally, foam rolling on my hamstring is not nearly as painful as my calf or my quad. So just like with the calf, you're going to set that foam roller right underneath your hamstring, the muscle on the back of your leg. You're gonna sit up and just roll along the length of the hamstring. Again, angles are important, so I do like try to get the innermost part of the hamstring and the outermost part of the hamstring. Once I've foam rolled, basic hamstring stretch, you could do both legs at the same time, or one leg like I do, put one leg out, one leg in, and I just reach and try and touch my toes, and I hold that for at least 30 seconds. Holding it for 30 seconds, then taking a 30-second break, and going back for 30 seconds more, okay? It's okay if you can't touch your toes. I mean, I could touch my toes, but it's not about pulling back as hard as you can. You want to reach as far as you can while feeling the pull on the back of your leg. So once you feel a little bit discomfort, that's where you're gonna hold. And as time progresses, the more you stretch, you should be able to get further. Next stretch is for the glutes, all right? I know I didn't warm up the glutes, but I do love stretching the glutes afterwards. Again, foam roller. I do angle myself on the foam roller so I could roll directly on the glute. Again, it's all about angle, so I just try and get every single part of that area. And once I feel like I've rolled enough, you only have to roll for about 30 seconds, by the way. 30 seconds of rolling, and you go right into your stretch. This stretch, I like to make, I think it's called a figure 4. I don't know, to be honest, but I make 2 right angles with my legs, one in front, one in back, and I just lean into it. For me, I can come almost to the floor. I feel that stretch right along the glute, and if you can only come to here, that's fine. I still feel the stretch here, but if I come on down and hold it for 30 seconds, this feels really, really great. The last 2 areas that I foam roll and stretch are the quads, all right? So a couple things that I do for the quad. First, foam rolling. Again, try and hit all areas of that quad, all right? Inside, outside. Now, as you roll to the outside, you might also hit your IT band, okay? That's the band that runs along the leg. Runners often forget about that, all right? So it's important to stretch that area out. Now, for each quad, I do perform 2 stretches. Like the standing quad stretch before, but now I hold it, and for this, I love laying on the floor. So I'll come down to the floor and hold this for 30 seconds, okay? After that 30-second hold is over, I get into a kneeling lunge, and now I stretch the hip area. I lean forward, and I hold until I feel that stretch in the hip. Hold that for 30 seconds, and then I will go back into the quad stretch, hold for another 30 seconds, and then switch again. All right, those are some of my favorite stretches that I enjoy doing before and after running. I hope that you guys can use those stretches. Hopefully you're feeling better on your runs or your walks or whatever your physical activity you guys are doing these days. It seems like we skip spring altogether and hit summer, so I'm looking forward to running outside in the summer, wearing less clothing, just shorts and no pants or tights or anything like that. So very excited for this warmer weather. What are some of the things that you guys like to do to warm yourself up or cool yourself down after a run or a bike or a walk? Let's try and keep the comments in the video discussion below. I do appreciate a lot of the direct messages that I get through social media, but let's try and keep some of those comments on the channel so that we can push the discussion a little bit more in hopes that some people will stumble upon the video and jump on in. As always, thank you so much for subscribing. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell to receive notifications when more videos come up. I hope you guys have an awesome Memorial Day. It's going to be beautiful outside the rest of the day. And thank you to those who gave the ultimate sacrifice while serving our country. All of us as a nation are thinking of you today. Until next time, I'm Matt Resendiz, the Northwest Side Runner. Peace out.